I wanted to make a video that discusses how to accept your sexuality. When you hear people's stories and you listen to LGBT advice or you Google how to come out, etc., coming out in itself is almost seen as this kind of final point in your journey, and once you come out, everything falls into place and you can live your life wholly and freely. But I think it's really important to recognise that coming out doesn't actually mark the end of a struggle in any capacity. What does mark the end of that struggle is self-acceptance and living happily. And one of the most common questions I've got for years is, how did I accept my sexuality? How did I come to terms with the fact that I am gay? And the answer is, for a long time, I really didn't. Even after I came out, I was still deeply unaccepting of who I was. It was kind of like saying, I'm gay, I know I'm gay, but by the way, really not happy with it and don't want to be gay. And for me, the journey I went through, it definitely became more about accepting me, as opposed to just accepting my sexuality. The stereotypes embedded within the gay community, to a large extent, made me feel excluded and marginalised. And I think once I learnt to reject what everybody else's notion of being gay was, that's when I started to accept my own version of being gay. And I think this is largely the same actually for straight people as well. I am wholly confident that if I was straight, I still wouldn't fit in. For example, I think some of these stereotypes associated with being a man or being a woman are outdated, they're unnecessary, and they're largely confining. So I'm confident that even if I was straight, I'd continue to feel very excluded amongst my straight peers, because I wouldn't be willing to accept many of the things that a lot of my straight friends accept as normal. And it's ridiculous, because acceptance is such an important part of life. Embracing who you are and what you want out of life is the sole purpose of living. And if I can't aspire to get the things I want in life, I may not get them. We don't all get what we want, but if I can't aspire to get these things, then what the hell am I doing? You only get one life, so why would you live it denying who you are and what you really want? And even now, although I've accepted myself and my sexuality, I still feel quite excluded from the LGBT community. I feel that I sit on the margins of it. I don't like going to Pride. I still go out of my desire to be part of some form of political protest and send out a message and try and be visible. But when I'm there, I'm not really happy with the stereotypes that are perpetuated. And I think actually this isn't really doing me and a lot of other gay people any favours. I don't like it when I see other lesbians within the community out there who largely outnumber me, hundreds and thousands of them that become the face of the LGBT movement, that don't represent anything that I stand for, anything that I look like, anything that I want out of life, but yet when you think of a lesbian, these are the people you think of. And then these comments that I put forward actually sound quite antagonistic, because it sounds like I'm saying that gay women that look and act this way don't represent me, therefore they shouldn't be represented, and it sounds a bit egotistical, and that's not the case at all. But I think it's the fact that in the straight community we fully accept and appreciate that there are loads of different kinds of straight people. They look different, they act different, they want different things, they have perhaps different types of relationships. But in the gay community, I still feel to a large extent there is a very marginal, narrow perception of what a gay woman is, and most of the time, unfortunately, I don't think me personally springs to mind, or people that look and act like me. And because of this, when I am in the gay community, it tends to remind me of my years of personal unacceptance, and all those feelings start to flood back. But one thing I will say that will hopefully help, particularly if you are a young person, is that age is the best thing ever. The older you get, the more knowing you are, the more confident you are, and the more you are able to roll your eyes at things, accept things much more readily, let things bounce much more, and try not to take things too seriously. I'll give you a completely random example that's nothing to do with my sexuality. Last year, I think, or year before, whenever it was, I went for an audition. Don't laugh. So when I was younger, I really wanted to be a singer, and I went for the odd audition, and I tried to put myself out there and thought I was going to be the next big thing, and was very disillusioned. Definitely not doing that anymore, but because I still write songs and I would love to be able to pursue some kind of thing on the side, in songwriting, I was putting my songs out there as a songwriter. Somebody picked one up and said, oh, you should come in for an audition. And I said, yeah, that's fine, I can come in, but I'm not a singer, I'm just a songwriter. I can sing my song for you, but it's, me as a songwriter, not me as a singer. She said, yep, that's fine, come on in. So I went along to this audition in London. It was in a proper studio, it was all very serious, and there were loads of other people waiting to go into audition, and most of these people were significantly younger than me, and they all looked so scared, understandably. They were all breathing and taking it seriously, and then you had these music industry professionals walking around, and the way they did it, it was also staged. They came into the waiting room and they kind of were very flamboyant and just walked around, very intimidating, and would stare you out. And I was sat there then as a, how old was I, 28, 29-year-old woman, laughing. I thought it was hilarious. I thought, I'm so beyond this. This is funny. Who do these people think they are? I went in for the audition. I was very chilled. I was rather intimidated, but I thought the whole experience was a complete laugh. And because I was so relaxed, they actually offered me a chance to go on their books, which was incredibly funny. I thought even further. But seeing all those young people in there, because they didn't have that 10 years that I had extra of experience and life, it was a major thing to them, and there was nothing funny about it, but to me it was bloody hilarious. And I'm trying to tell that story to feed it into my sexuality, because the more you experience things, and things that can be very intimidating and scary and horrible, the more you can actually learn to laugh at them, laugh at other people, and most importantly, actually just laugh at yourself. And one of the main things that continues to drive me forward personally is, how can I help other gay people? Who is out there right now feeling how I used to feel? And how does the visibility of my own acceptance help others eventually accept themselves? As I always say, and I think this should be my tagline everywhere I go, visibility is key. Visibility is political. Visibility changes lives. So please write below if you are gay or bisexual or straight as well, your own stories of self-acceptance. Was there something specific you started to do? Was it a journey you went on? Was it a time period like myself? What helped you accept yourselves? Is there something more that I could be doing to help you accept yourself? Is there something that you could be doing to help others accept themselves? I think the more we can share our own stories, the stronger we all become. So don't be those younger people in the audition room, understandably shuddering and scared and being highly intimidated by these big clowns that are purposefully trying to intimidate them. Be me, sit back, roll your eyes, have a laugh internally, and go for it anyway, because life's too short to not chase what you want. Thank you for listening.